Hello, Wonderhussy here in the middle of nowhere in one of the most interesting places on planet Earth, the high desert. Okay, it also happens to be one of the windiest places on Earth, so you'll have to excuse... Oh gosh, I almost lost my hat. It's just like that out here because we're in the desert on the other side of a mountain range that separates the desert from the Los Angeles basin and the cool, lush climate of the Pacific Ocean. And I'm no meteorologist or climatologist, but I feel like it has something to do with all that dense, moist coastal air that I guess comes rushing over the mountains looking for lower density air, which the desert is hot. But isn't it hot? High density? Oh gosh, I don't know. I told you I wasn't a meteorologist. All I know is it seems like it's always, or almost always, windy as all get out here. Which might be part of the reason the high desert has developed something of an unsavory reputation. Okay, if you're from the LA basin, aka down the hill on the other side of the Cajon Pass, well, you probably tend to look at the high desert and the people who live out here as sort of a lower socioeconomic class than you. And it's true. Oh gosh, I have to be careful. I'm gonna get blown off this rock. It's true. Prices are more affordable over here on this side of the mountains. So a lot of people who can't afford to live in LA end up moving out here, and then some of them even commute all the way to work down in LA every day. Which I sure wouldn't want to do. I can't imagine navigating the Cajon Pass and all that traffic every day, twice a day, but I guess the jobs are down in the LA basin on the other side of the mountains and the affordable houses are up here. Woo! I better get off this rock before I blow away. I guess some might say that these winds that blast the high desert also blow a lot of trash from the LA basin out here to the desert. And it's true in both a literal sense. There's lots of garbage blowing around all over this desert. Look at that. Oat milk. Fancy. But it's not just literal trash that gets blown out here. It's also metaphorical trash, okay? The detritus of LA that can't afford to make it in LA, you know, the meth heads, the criminals, the people who are just down on their luck and can't afford it out there get blown like tumbleweeds up over the mountains, up the Cajon Pass, and they end up here in the high desert. And that might be an unfair categorization, but oh my god, who am I kidding? It's kind of a realistic categorization, okay? I'm not the only one who says this. I used to know somebody who was from the little community of Apple Valley right here, and he said up here they call it Crapple Valley, and the little town of Victorville just down the road, they call that Victimville. And then the community of Hesperia, even farther that way, they call that Desperia. So it's kind of well known that the high desert has its issues. And in fact, the high desert is kind of the kind of place you think of when you think of the hills have eyes. Okay, I'm always saying that when I'm out in a creepy old abandoned desert town. Ooh, this place has real hills have eyes vibes. Remember that movie, The Hills Have Eyes? I think the original was made in 1977 and then they remade it about 30 years later. I never saw the original, but believe it or not, the original was filmed right here in the high desert. In fact, many key scenes in that movie were shot right here in and amongst these rock formations way back in 1977. What is that now? 50 years ago almost. None of this development, or very little of this development, was here. And so I guess it made the perfect blighted, deserted, post-apocalyptic landscape for Wes Craven, I think he was the director, and the cast and crew to come out here and film that horrible movie. I mean, if you don't know anything about The Hills Have Eyes, I never saw the original one, but I saw the remake. It's about this family that's going on vacation and they have to drive across the Mojave Desert. Ooh, the Mojave Desert. And I think all of these spooky tales about the Mojave Desert maybe got their start from this movie, because in the movie, I can't remember what happens. They run out of gas or they break down or something in the middle of nowhere in the desert, and this this family of cannibals, inbred cannibals, attacks them and I think kills them all one by one. Again, I haven't seen the original and it's been probably 20 years since I saw the remake, so I don't know all the details, but it's just interesting to me that such a horrible movie put a permanent and indelible stain on such a beautiful landscape. I mean, I think objectively looking around here, this is absolutely gorgeous country. You know, the high desert is where you find Joshua trees and these awesome granite rock formations and wide expansive valleys and wide blue skies. When it's not windy and when it's not 115 degrees, it's an absolutely beautiful place. So I kind of feel bad that Wes Craven chose to shoot his seminal horror movie right here and kind of forever mark it with a scarlet letter. In fact, somebody told me that this mountain right here that I'm standing at the foot of is where they filmed The Hills Have Eyes. I don't know, I was looking at my Google Maps. I keep a Google map with pins of all the places I want to check out. And I had the top of this mountain pinned with a note that said, The Hills Have Eyes. And so I tried to do some research, like, is this where they filmed key scenes from the movie? But I couldn't find any information online. I mean, there's a number of locations down in the valley and over on that side where they filmed different stuff. But I didn't find anything in particular about this movie, although it does look like there's a flag up at the top. Oh, it's like a lonely outpost of civilization in the middle of this vast post-apocalyptic wasteland full of cannibals and warehouses and Walmart distribution centers and affordable housing. It's like some fancy dude from LA went up there and planted that flag to show that an actual civilized person had been here in Apple Valley. Okay, now I'm kind of curious. I'm gonna try to get up there. Okay, it looks like there's a little trail I can follow that might eventually take me to the top of this mountain. And I'll be honest, I was gonna try to drive up here, but there's this guy on a dirt bike just sort of sitting over there and he was staring at me. And I guess I let my own imagination get the better of me. Here I am talking about how the high desert was unfairly maligned by Wes Craven in The Hills Have Eyes. And I guess I bought into it just as much as anyone. I always get kind of a spooky feeling out here. I don't know if I'd be comfortable camping out here because, well, not only would 1,000 dirt bikes and side-by-sides come blazing past your campsite, people come out and do like target shooting, God knows what else. Anyway, I'm just gonna hike to the top of this hill as fast as I can and hope it's not one of the hills that has eyes. I made it, oh my gosh. I am a long way from my car. But on the plus side, I'm at the top of the hill that may or may not have eyes, and it affords us an excellent view of not only whatever kind of massive distribution center that is, but of the entire Apple Valley, Victorville, Hesperia, metropolitan area, otherwise known as the red-headed stepchildren of LA. Anyway, I'm glad I took the time to hike up here. I'm actually glad that dirt biker was here too, because if he hadn't, I probably would have tried to drive, and I needed exercise, and I like being able to prove to myself that I can get a lot of places on my own two legs. Oh, say, can you see? It's very patriotic up here. Man, whoever put that flag up here, well, I was gonna say it doesn't look like it's been here that long because it's not completely torn to shreds, but you can see on the top edge it is starting to get some wear and tear, which is exactly what happens to everyone when you're in the high desert long enough. Better not waste too much time here. Let's see what's in this ammo can. Before I do that, I should note there's also a little cross here that says John 3:16, Easter 2026. Oh wow, Easter was just a week, 2 weeks ago. So somebody came up here relatively recently, and it's impressive because, oh gosh, it's real windy up here. Hopefully you can hear this. There's no way to drive up here, even in a side-by-side or a dirt bike. You have to hike this thing on foot, and I'm a pretty fit hiker, and let me tell you something, that was tough. I mean, not only did I have to worry about murderous dirt bikers, I also had to worry about slipping and falling on all this loose shale, breaking my ankle, and I also had to worry about snakes. Okay, this is an abnormally active rattlesnake season. I was just reading. Let me hunker down here behind the flag, get out of the wind. It's an abnormally active rattlesnake season in the Mojave Desert in Southern California. There's already been 3 people who died of snake bites, and it's only, well, I'm filming this on April 23rd. Yeah, normally I think only 5 people every year in the entire United States die from poisonous snake bites, but there's already been 3 right here in California, so you really have to be careful where you step. And if this isn't prime rattlesnake country, I don't know what is. That's why I compromised, and instead of wearing my usual flip-flops, I'm wearing boots. Hey, don't laugh. It's better than flip-flops. Anyway, let's take a look inside this little ammo can. There's actually a trail register up here, which is very impressive. I didn't realize folks in the high desert were into hiking on foot. I thought it was all about motorized off-road vehicles. You know, I didn't realize people out here like to hike just as much as the fancy folk in LA. Oh, look. It's a religious ammo can. The righteous cry out, and the Lord hears them. He delivers them from all their trouble. Psalms 34:17. I should also note that I think the high desert skews conservative and religious, apparently, which is kind of interesting considering the high crime rate out here. Anyway, it looks like there's a book. Let's see who signed this book last. Oh, happy Earth Day. That was just yesterday. She hath risen. Birdie and Soph. Oh, look, Ember. Wow, there's all kinds of people that hike up here to the top of this nameless hill that I have marked on my map as the hills have eyes. I have no idea. Oh, look, it says here, Bell Mountain. I guess maybe that's what I'm hiked on top of. Bell Mountain. Anybody watching this video know anything about Bell Mountain? And if it was or wasn't one of the shooting locations for the Hills Have Eyes, let me know in the comments below. Anyway, there's, oh look, there's a pen so I can sign the book. There's a bunch of little notebooks going way, way, way back through the years. 2025. Oh gosh. Well, I was gonna say going back for many years, but pretty much everything I've seen in here was from 2025 or 2026. So that means a lot of people hike up this Bell Mountain. And look, another Psalm 1.1, 1 Peter 5.7, Jesus loves you. Man, there's a lot of religious hiking going on in this community, but it's not all religious stuff. I guess people kind of just put their thoughts and wishes into this ammo can, because I found this. This is really cool, or actually kind of sad. I wish my family was more accepting. And I want to marry, and I have sex a lot actually, and I just want to graduate and be happy. Boy, if that isn't high desert haiku, I don't know what is. Anyway, that's pretty much all there is in this ammo can. I mean, there's like a few odds and ends. There's a lighter. There's inexplicably some of those nasal strips you put on your nose so you don't snore, which I don't know why you would need those up here on top of Bell Mountain. And then there's a little, like a little hairy yak keychain. I'm just gonna go ahead and sign this book. Okay, I just wrote the date, my name, Wonderhussy from Death Valley. Happy day after Earth Day. Good job, everyone. And by that, I mean good job to everyone who was able to hike to the top of Bell Mountain, because this wasn't easy. Listen to that. The peaceful, easy sound of dirt bikes and a side-by-side. You would think the people out here get enough driving, commuting back and forth to Los Angeles, but apparently not. Driving around the desert is like the #1 hobby in these parts, which, now that I've shown you what it looks like, isn't so scary after all. I came out here because I wanted to make some videos showcasing the beauty and the interesting stuff that is all around this often maligned part of the desert. And so to wrap this video up, I'm going to take you to one of those interesting sites. Okay, we have arrived at one of the many marvels of the high desert, and that is the ruins of an old miniature golf course. And you might go, well, what's so exciting about the ruins of an old miniature golf course? How is that a marvel, Wonderhussy boy? Speaking of marvels, I think you lost your marbles. Well, not so fast. Yeah, okay, maybe that ruin isn't that impressive. And maybe this little bridge in front of me isn't all that impressive. Although I beg to differ, because these are all made out of chicken wire, rebar, and some kind of plastering. You try to make something like that. If I made a bridge like that at my compound, I'd be pretty proud of it. But the real marvels are over here. Look at that. Look at these old concrete dinosaurs. This was all part, there's a whole bunch of them. They've sort of started to crumble over the years. This was all part of what was meant to be a miniature golf course. Okay, man, I don't know where you come from, but where I come from, this is pretty interesting, and this is why I freaking love the high desert. Where else are you gonna find an abandoned miniature golf course full of crumbling dinosaurs slowly being reclaimed by the Mojave Desert? I mean, it looks like people came and knocked the heads off some of these. This guy's missing his head. This guy's missing his head. Maybe there's some redneck out here in Apple Valley with concrete dinosaur heads mounted on the wall of his man cave, like guys do with deer heads. I actually think concrete dinosaur heads would be 1,000 times cooler, especially considering the history of this place. Okay, again, apologies for the wind. Hopefully the audio is coming out, but hey man, that's the high desert. Anyway, the story here is the high desert wasn't always just a refuge for people who couldn't afford to live elsewhere. Back in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, it was a cool place to move. A lot of celebrities from Hollywood moved out here because it's clean, it's fresh air, there's plenty of open space. You know, get out of that dank, damp LA basin. You know, a man can be a man out here. And so this guy back in the late 60s, early 70s was gonna build this miniature golf course out here, and he wasn't even gonna charge for it. It was gonna be 100% free. Boy, when's the last time you ever heard of something like that happening? Somebody building a golf course and they don't even want to charge you to play on it. I just think that's so cool. I guess he wanted kids out here to have something they could do for free. That doesn't even really look like a dinosaur. That looks like a terrifying hybrid of a dinosaur and one of those plague doctor masks from the medieval times. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. And I love the fact that these are crumbling apart little by little over the years. How about this house right next door? Wouldn't that be a trip to live right next door to an abandoned miniature golf course that's full of headless, crumbling concrete dinosaurs and amazing cactus? I mean, look at this freaking cactus basically growing right up out of this poor dinosaur's neck. Sorry about my shadow. It's a challenging time of day, but I don't know. Maybe you don't think cactus are beautiful, but I think cactus are beautiful. I think these rock formations that I just climbed around on are beautiful. I think this whole area has a really strange and mysterious beauty, and that's why I wanted to come out here, to show everyone that there's plenty to love about the high desert. And so for the next several videos, I'm going to be taking you on a tour all around this magical Mojave wonderland that is quickly becoming one of my favorite places on earth. I mean, it's just totally bonkers. Oh, and speaking of bonkers, I think this might be my favorite figure of all. It's not a dinosaur. It's sort of like this collapsed human figure that's sort of laying there, almost relaxed looking in the desert, just sort of chilling with his arms folded across his chest, almost like he's just kicking back to enjoy another beautiful high desert sunset. Just gorgeous.